strength. Stay away from you anymore.
Don't.
Bella and Edward, their burning desire for each other, overwhelming. Fans already thirsty for more.
Back alley entrances, fake names on the call sheet, and mounted police guarding the set. It is one of the most secretive productions ever made, and we're taking you inside.
3, 2, 1,
Set the record straight for us. How much of Edward and Bella together will we see in this movie?
It's kind of as close as possible to the book as you can get.
Secrets to the sequel. Number 1, you get more Edward than the book originally prescribes.
The visions, we call them, in the book it's supposed to be that she only hears him, but she actually does see him in front of her. So you will get more Robert Pattinson than you'd expect from reading it.
It's an illusion when he appears, and it's actually quite scary, because Bella's, I guess, if you really look at it, she's kind of going a little bit nuts. She's trying to get over me, but it's just, and it becomes an addiction, just having these hits of seeing me.
Twilight ended with Edward and Bella dancing at the prom, but fans of the series know that this is no happily ever after. In the Twilight saga New Moon, Edward breaks up with Bella to save her. He leaves her only to haunt her soul and mind.
There are some really bizarre moments, I mean, because she's having constant nightmares all the time, and the nightmares are all based on the person she loves, like haunting her. So there's a lot of kind of weird dreams about like death and decay. Making it sound really romantic.
Sequel, secret number 2, Edward reveals more of his dark side.
The dream sequences are really eerie. It's like you have something that is your idea of like perfection, but you're afraid of it, wild, afraid of losing it. It's like very masochistic.
So the lion fell in love with the lamb. Sick, masochistic lion.
He gets a chance to be a little bit more scary in the dream sequences, not so perfect.
Raking in nearly $400 million worldwide, 3 million DVDs sold the first day. Obsessed fans across the globe have propelled Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson to superstardom.
It's quite difficult when you see like all these people, you think in one way or another you have to please them, because like the scream is like a scream of like wanting or whatever, but I mean I don't know what people want.
Well, Robert, what they want is more details. Author Stephanie Meyer has sequel secrets number 3.
I took it to some extremes in New Moon, and I think it's kind of an emotional roller coaster experience. You hear that a lot, a little cathartic for me anyway. Probably not what you're expecting unless you've looked at spoilers.
That emotional roller coaster is the love triangle between Bella, vampire love Edward, and her pal Jacob, played by Taylor Lautner.
I leave you alone for 2 minutes and the wolves descend.
It's really exciting that I get to bring alive this part of Jacob that you've never seen before. But yeah, you can feel the pressure at moments.
She has a best friend that would do absolutely anything for her, and he's the right choice. But there's something about like true love.
And the more I don't come back, the more she thinks like, well, you should like settle for the compromise. I mean, he didn't want me. Edward didn't want me.
You like me, right?
It's in this right now.
It's because of him, huh?
It's like you can't describe it. It's like maybe it's not good for me, but I'm going to ignore the better option, and I'm just going to hold out for the best.
It's so depressing for Jacob, because I mean, you find the love of your life and you're always going to know you're going to be second best.
Secret number 4, the answer to the question everyone's dying to know.
In real life, if you had to choose, are you an Edward girl or a Jacob girl?
I can't. Like, I'm not even allowed to answer that question.
If you were the sister, would you want her to date Edward or Jacob?
Edward's wealthier.
Now,
Who's he?
That's Edward Cohen. Totally gorgeous.
she became the envy of girls everywhere as Bella because she got the unattainable Edward Cullen. Now, in the sequel, Kristen is also the object of Jacob's desire.
Talk to us a little bit about the love triangle and how it evolved in this second film.
Well, the love triangle, according to Bella, is sort of like She's not even aware that there is a triangle, which is what is so incredibly heartbreaking about it. And, you know, Jacob's like the epitome of warmth. And to reject that is like, you know, gut-wrenching.
If anybody knows heartbreak, it is Bella. As fans of the immensely popular book series know, Edward breaks up with her early in New Moon because he fears he won't be able to control his vampire ways.
Perhaps the most horrible dump scene in the history of literature, right? Yeah. I mean, it is gut-wrenching.
It's pretty awful.
She is up on the ground in a forest.
Yeah, she can't move. Literally, her guts like fall out of her. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Have you shot that scene yet?
No. No. I know, like, you started mentioning it, and I'm like, yeah. The breakup scene. We haven't done it yet.
About it.
Yeah. No, it's awful.
Keeping true to the books is one thing the filmmakers are careful about because of the millions of passionate fans. At the premiere back in November, Thea and Kristen were in awe of the turnout.
Did you know that some of these people have been here for 2 days?
Yeah, I was told. You know, I mean, there's really no way to... Everybody's so, like, awesome and positive and great. Like, usually I do movies that don't see the light of day. So this is, like, the uber opposite. And you work so hard on something and you're, like, so proud of something that this is, like, what you do it for. So it's pretty great.
Why don't we just hang out? Everybody's going to the beach. Come.
Of course, the first film was a giant hit, and the DVD release was met with near hysteria. So, naturally, Kristen and the cast are hoping to meet the lofty expectations being put on them and the sequel.
But it's a driving force. It's almost cooler. It's almost like, while they're waiting, let's, like, make it as good as we can make it.
Tell me something. You liked me, right? Better than that Joker in there?
Taylor Lautner longs for Bella as Jacob, and this part of the Twilight saga develops their relationship. Also developing was Taylor's physique.
So tell us how you pumped up, because you put on, what, 30 pounds for this role?
Yes. It took a lot of hard work. Sometimes I actually found that I was overworking myself because randomly I dropped like 4 pounds and I lost it like that, and I was like, whoa, what's happening? And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I'm hitting the gym all the time and I'm working so hard. And what I found out is that I was overworking myself, so I had to pull back.
Taylor admitted to feeling the pressure this time around, but he has an on-screen support group, the Wolf Pack.
How excited are you to have your pack joining you on the set?
It's really cool to have the wolves here. Yeah, we had the vampire, so now I can't wait for the vampires to come to set.